This is the Wusik PR82 video, and I'm going to show every single detail about it, going parameter by parameter. So this is video number 1, and I'm going to make other videos so it's separated uh, so it doesn't get too long for this video. So okay, this is Wusik PR82. It's a performance seal for live presentations and stuff like that. This is a standalone version. The plugin version is the same thing. The only difference is that the standalone version has these options, which I can select my audio and MIDI settings. So I have my sound card here, my MIDI keyboard here, my MIDI output, and everything is ready. So if I try to hit play, it's going to complain that the project is currently empty. So there's no audio objects or anything. So the first thing we're going to do is edit and start adding objects. This is version 0.1.4, so this is beta 4. But almost everything, I would say 95% of the code is already. So this is the first screen for the editor. We have the area where we're going to add our objects, and each object can be an audio, a button, or image or label. But first, let's talk about the full screen. You can disable the full screen, so you have a screen that you can resize if you want. But since this the idea here is to use live, the best thing is really to use the full screen. Then in the play mode, you're just going to have this area here with the objects and no extra menus. So okay, we have the message here. Click on an empty area to add an object. But first, let's talk about the global options that goes for the whole project. So you can close this window, this editor window, and go to the play mode. We can go to the play mode directly here by clicking play. There's two tips on most parameters. You just leave the mouse on a parameter and it's going to show the tooltip. And you can see that you can also use F5 to go directly to play mode, but it's going to complain that it's empty. But if I press F5, it's going to go to the play mode, and from the play mode, I can press F5 and go to the edit mode. And I can scroll down here and disable this F5 option for the final presentation, let's say, so I don't hit by accident and go to the edit mode or anything like that. Reset is going to delete all the objects in the screen and start again, but it's not going to reset the background and colors, just remove the objects. You can export a project or import a project. You have 4 screens, and each screen you can have any number of objects you want. And the audio objects from one screen to the next screen are going to keep playing. So let's say you have 4 drum objects on screen A and 4 synth objects in screen B. If you go from one to another, they keep playing. They don't stop playing just because you went to another screen. The templates here are for the main options, for the background color, and stuff like that. So if I select here dark grind, it's going to load background, set the colors, and I can also save a template after I have set my colors and background image and stuff like that that I'm going to show next. So okay, you have also what I clicked my mouse and my mouse. Okay, I clicked the DPI resolution on my mouse and it changed to 300 DPI. Oh, that's slow. So you can disable the grid here in the edit mode. In the play mode, the grid never shows. You can select snap to grid, so it snaps to the squares when you are adding an object or resizing an object. So let me quickly add a button here. You can see that the button size and position is going to snap to the grid. So let me remove that for now. You have the grid size and of course the grid color. When you click on something that is going to open the color editor, you have the red, green, blue, and also the alpha. The alpha is going to be the transparency. So to the right is fully opaque, and to the left is fully transparent. So you can adjust how you want that. The background color, you can also adjust that and also load a background image. Right now I have already one loaded. I can select it. Let me remove the show grid. I can select to stretch the image or not. I can also select to scale the image and select it to be transparent if I want. So let's say let's put zero point 0.8. It's very transparent. So now it's showing the background color. Let's put like a very strong blue. Or I can put it black so the background just fades to black. I'm going to leave it at 0.6 so it's easier to see things in the screen. Then you have the flash color, first bit color, measure color, and then the decay. This is for when the sequencer is running. It's going to flash this color. Let's try a very strong red. You can see the tooltip here. So this is going to happen for the second, third, and fourth bit. And the first bit color, let's put a very strong green here, just for the sake of seeing things. And then the measure color is for the first measure color. So right now I have 4 measures here on my project. So if I add an audio object, let me add one that has 4 measures. So this one has 4 measures. I'm going to go to the play mode. And as soon as I click it, it's going to play and the colors are going to flash according to what I selected. The measure is going to be blue. There you go. Of course, what I have set here is very dramatic, so you can also set the alpha levels to make it very subtle. So I'm going to add a bit of transparency to each color, so it's more. And you can also set the decay for how long the color is going to flash. Let's try 300 milliseconds. I'm going to press F5 now. It goes to the play mode. And there the blue, red, and green. I'm going to press F5. It goes to the editor mode. So these are the flash colors. Let me put some text here so you can see the font changing. Let's say drum 01, and I can select other fonts from the system. These are the system fonts. So if you plan on sending this to someone else or another computer, be sure that you select a font that is also available on the target system. So Verdun is a good font. So the initial envelope. Okay, the initial envelope is a master envelope that you can select to start high or low. Usually you just set it to high and don't worry about it. But let's say you want to fade several sounds at the start. So you select several sounds to start, and you select the envelope to low. They're not going to make any sound. Then you can use a button to fade in the master envelope. So that's what the master envelope is for. Then you have the beats per minute, which you can set to internal clock or external clock. The external clock is just going to work for plugin in the plugin version. Maybe I'm going to gray out this in the standalone version. And the number of measures. If you don't know what a measure is, you should Google for it to understand or check in your sequencer the size of a measure. But this sound, for instance, that I load has 4 measures. So if I go here and play, you can see that it has one, two, three, four. So it's four measures. And here you are going to select. So the first thing you have to think about your project, let's say the maximum number of measures that you are going to have is eight. You put eight there. Then you worry about the shorter ones per object because each object has a measure option two. If I go here and scroll down, you can see measures default. So it's going to use four. But let's say it has two measures. I can put two and it's going to loop two times uh, inside these four measures. So let me close this because I'm not going to talk about this yet. Let's finish the global options first. Okay, autoplay audio on load. So when you load up your new audio, you add a new audio object, you can play the audio just after you selected which audio you want to use. So you are sure that you selected the right one. Auto start clock is going to start the sequencer for the first thing you select. If you don't use this, you have to provide a button for the sequencer stop and stop. I'm going to show this in a later video. Then the disable F5 for the play any edit, so you don't hit F5 accidentally in a performance mode. And the master volume. The thing here on the master volume is that this auto option is not a limiter, is a bit different. Just leave it as in auto and play your song, test it out, mix things a bit, and it's going to adjust the volume so it doesn't clip the output with all the things that you are mixing up. Or you just disable it and put a master limiter, insert limiter in your sequencer or DAW instead of using that. So these are the global options. On next video, I'm going to show the each object for each options that it has.